bring it in. Hey, and this the dancer right here.
Yes, it's a throwback. Right, Tamika? What you know about this, Tamika?
What's your little favorite dance right here? Look, this is your little favorite dance right
What
here.
you know about this? All that I can say. Yes, Mary, that was my girl back in the day. She's still my girl, but the 411 and her other hits that was back in the 90s. Oh, I used to be on Mary J. Yes. Yes.
We on yet?
Welcome to K.I.R.P&P. Keep it real, positive, and professional with Sheba's podcast. I'm your host, Demetria. I'm the founder of Sheba's Lifestyle. And for those of you who don't know about Sheba's Lifestyle, we're a women's empowerment brand. We focus on weight loss, weight management, mental and spiritual health. We're preparing for our first event this coming Sunday, May 17th, from 1 to 6 at the American Legion in Rahway. And it's going to be epic. There's going to be like 25 vendors, food trucks, a pink photo booth. I've partnered with my guest and his wife, Jay Magnificent, and Tamika will be there spreading love and joy. And we're just looking forward to it. And so I have my two guests with me tonight. Again, Jay Magnificent and his wife, Tamika. And the topic is relationships and growth. And I'll just start with you, Miss Tamika. Please introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you. And yeah.
Hi, I'm Tamika. I born and raised in New Jersey. I have a background in health administration. I was a single mom for a very long time, and I am just happy to be here with my honey here, Mr. Jay Magnificent.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I could completely relate to that too. I was a single parent as well. I wasn't born in Jersey. I was actually born in Connecticut, but I've been in Jersey for, the most part of my life. And I'm established here, comfortable here, love it here. You guys are great. I'm a Jersey girl now.
Okay.
Yeah. But how many kids do you have, Tamika?
Oh, I have one. She's an adult now. So I am just finding my newfound freedom.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, single mom.
Are you loving it or what?
Relationship that I found the great man now that I can, go through life together and,
get married.
Get married.
That's right. I hope I'm coming to the wedding. I would love to.
Of course. Well, my business partner.
Yeah, and that's kind of my story too. Both of my kids are grown. And I'm just now finding freedom, and enjoying time with myself, taking care of myself and focusing on me more that, my kids are both grown, you know what I'm saying? And I do have a wonderful man in my life as well, which you guys met at New Entry's graduation ceremony. Mike,
absolutely, I met him. Yes, absolutely.
Great. And it always just makes it better when you do have that person in your life who is just that person, You
better believe it. Make it that much more easier. Yeah,
absolutely. Which brings us to you, Mr. Jay Magnificent. If you could just reintroduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Baltimore, born and raised in Baltimore. I've been in Jersey for like about 2.5 years now. Me and Tamika have been together out of that 2.5 years, going on 2 years now. So the relationship is going beautiful, and I can't see it no other way. Clearly can't. So
absolutely.
So I moved up here from Jersey for the business. You already know, New Entry. With my best friend Tosh. So business started off pretty slow, but now it's booming, thank God, so everything's going well with that. And then I'm just partnered up with you, so this is going to even make life even more better. So but I was married for like 22 years. I got 2 children by my ex-wife.
Okay.
And I got 1 son, 1 daughter. My daughter got a daughter, and my son got a son. So I got 2 grandkids. All praise to God. Yep. So but I've been divorced now for going on about 6 years. So now I'm prepping myself up to be about to be ready to get married all over again to this beautiful lady right next to me. So
that's right.
Yeah. So, but everything comes in time. Like truthfully, if it was up to both of us, we'd be married today. So, we just want everything to be perfect. And make sure we both all the way straight in life. So it won't be nothing hindering us from living a happy, beautiful life. So
yeah. And that's great. That's great. And it sounds like you guys kind of kicked it off from day one.
Truthfully, yes, we did.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. And I'm just happy to hear that you two are happy. James, I'm happy to hear that you didn't give up on love. I'm not sure the details, which is none of my business or anything of your previous relationship, but some people, when they go through divorce, they kind of give up on love, and sometimes it doesn't happen, it doesn't work out, but there's someone who will love us the way we need to be loved. So that's great. Your grandkids, I think I did see you post your granddaughter the other day.
Absolutely, that's my baby.
Beautiful. I have 2 grandkids myself, and my daughter just had another child, but there's like a strange relationship between my daughter and I, which I'm not going to go into, right now.
All about it.
I just pray that one day, the relationship just rekindles and heals, and we're able to, get along and grow and love each other. So but I do have 3 grandchildren, and the time that I did spend with them was beautiful, and just praying that it continues to grow, so
I saw hubby trying to get in the picture. You might as well bring him on along.
Hey, come say hi.
He creeping all around. He might as well come on and get in here, man. You know what I mean?
He said, "Come say hi." He just walked in the house. He's getting settled. He said he'll be over here in a minute.
Okay.
So God is good, and just really quick, what does a healthy relationship look like to you, or what is a healthy relationship, James?
Well, a healthy relationship is always, it starts off with trust, love, and respect, and 110% communication.
That's right.
You gotta have an open communication, you know what I'm saying? Because you can have the love, you can have the trust, you can have the respect, but if you don't have communication, it can destroy a relationship, because I don't know what's on her mind. She don't know what's on my mind.
Yeah.
So if we hold stuff in and hold stuff away from each other, we don't know. I wouldn't know what to make her happy. She wouldn't know what to make me happy. So that's why, I always let her know, like, communication means so much. Don't ever hold nothing back from me. Let me know what's going on, even if something I may disagree with. But it's cool. We'll work through it, because I know everything that I want to bring to her, she's not agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Just like tonight, I had to force on it. You taking me out of my space, but I want to do it. I want to do it.
Definitely, because I am not one that I'm my social vocal person. I'm kind of like private to myself, very introverted.
Yeah.
So being on a podcast, and it's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I'm letting him get me there.
Yeah, but the great thing about it is,
Tamika, when we met at the graduation, I did get that you were, kind of introverted, and I mean, I appreciate your honesty, and I definitely appreciate your participation here tonight. And let me just tell you, you're doing great. You're listen, you're such a natural at this.
I definitely appreciate that.
And guess who told her that?
James, here's Mike. Come in. We can't see.
Hey,
you.
Mike, man.
How are you?
$1 million Mike. What's up, man?
I keep telling you to bend down. This is the camera right here. You got to get in closer.
Get closer.
Come closer.
I can't see you, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
I see a little shadows.
I'm good. All right, take care. Have fun.
Hey, how you doing, Mike, man? Nice seeing you again.
Sure.
But just to piggyback off of him, I definitely feel the same. Like, a healthy relationship does definitely start with communication, trust,
definitely,
and putting God first.
I don't know how I forget
foremost, that. Like, I definitely found the connection with him stronger because he's spiritual, and he does have a good relationship with God. So, and I've been born and raised in the church as well. So, that is definitely key. And it took a while for me to, not a while, but it took a little, step forward for me to be openly to communicate, because I was in past relationships where I did not have that chance or that voice. And he definitely pulls that out of me to communicate more, be open, tell him what's on my mind. Don't just keep it bottled in. So I definitely, just to piggyback.
Absolutely. And actually, you're right. Putting God first is number one. And I've been in relationships myself where we've been unequally yoked and not on the same page with God and our spiritual connection, and it just was like not a good situation. Definitely putting God first and both being on the same page with your spiritual connection with God, and communication is definitely key, and just like how you described, he's pulling it out of you. Being able to communicate is vice versa with me and Mike. Like, Mike is more introverted, and he doesn't really like to be in uncomfortable situations, and sometimes communicating could be uncomfortable because it could cause some feelings and some conversations that can make you just uncomfortable. So instead of him communicating or speaking what he needs to say, he'd rather keep it to himself, and I'm kind of like pulling it out of him, like, we have to talk about this. So we're working on it. We're getting better. We've been together for 11 years. On the 15th, actually, it'll be.
Yes. There you go, Rock.
And he's a great person. He's patient, he's kind, he's humble. He has all the fruits of the spirit, in which he's learning from me the communicating part of it, and me, I'm learning from him being patient, being kind, being humble, because I could be a little rough sometimes, and I'm a woman, but that's just my personality. So I'm working on being that soft girl, and so yeah. Now, Tamika, do you believe people can grow together without growing apart?
Do I believe people can grow together without growing apart? I definitely do believe people can grow together without growing apart. Like I said, it starts with communication. It starts with being open with each other. You want to grow together instead of, going apart. So, I definitely believe in that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Like, if you're growing together if you're growing together and then you end up growing apart, then something is not adding up.
No one wants to start a relationship and you're starting with the thoughts of, okay, we're not going to stay together, we're going to be apart. So you want to grow together, you want to
see. Growing together is all just like a plant. Our life is like is like plants and trees and stuff like that. Anyway, so if we put our seeds in two separate pots, absolutely we gonna grow apart. But now we put the seeds all in one pot, in the same soil, we're gonna grow together for sure.
Exactly.
So my seed's not going nowhere, but in the same pot as hers. So that's how we're gonna grow together. So because if not, we're gonna be separate, you know, and that's one thing, is one of the worst things in the world, is to be separation, you know. So togetherness is everything. So we ain't doing no growing apart on this way.
yeah. And that's a beautiful analogy you just gave, James. You know, I like that. And that's not to say that, you know, some people grow together but end up growing apart. You know, it does happen that way sometimes, but you know, when that does happen, you know, I just look at it like, you know, it just wasn't meant to be. You weren't meant to grow together with that person because of the fact that you grew apart, you know. So
well, you know, a lot of times, right, people got to realize this too. Just because leaves fall off the plant, that don't mean it's dead, you know. So
yeah,
long as you keep watering them, leaves
that's
gonna
right.
grow right back. So
That's right.
everything is not gonna be, you know, everything ain't gonna be lollipops and suckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
So
everybody,
you gonna have some rough spots though, but you're gonna have some beautiful spots too. Because when plants grow, how they look at the end. You know what I'm saying?
everything ain't gonna be peachy keen. Everything
right, absolutely.
It's easier for us to get into a hard spot, and we are quick to run away. So it's, as long as we, you know, we talk through and we know that there's not always going to be, like he said, the flowers and the rainbows, and some rough spaces and some rough spots. And we just have to learn how to get over that together.
Yes.
So, like, this one have the idea about this, and this one, and we're just clashing. So
and that's when the communication comes in. That's when the patience comes in, the understanding, you know, the kindness, you know, all the fruits of the spirit that plays a part when you do feel like, you know, the relationship is growing apart. Because once you continue to water it, you know, everything should realign. You know, everything should realign if you are implementing all of those things into the relationship, you know. But if you're not doing that and you're just like, you know, having an attitude where you don't care if it grows apart or not, then that's just kind of like walking away and giving up on the relationship.
Yep. So, and you know the crazy part, well, not crazy part, we two total different religions. I'm Muslim, she's a Christian. So but we don't trip off that. I'm a firm believer. As long as you believe in God, I don't care what you are. As long as you cherish and believe him in your way and believe him the fullest way that you know how to, it's all fine with me. But you know, as long as you have that type space, and you know, I don't disrespect her religion, she don't disrespect my religion, everything cool. But you know, and then when you let a person see who you are, you know, now she asking questions about being a Muslim. You know what I'm saying? She's like she asking all types of questions, but would I ever care if she turned to a Muslim or not? No, I don't care. You know, just believe in God. That's all. We just want God over this roof. You know what I'm saying? And don't reflect in mine, and I won't reflect in yours. And you know, but if she do decide that'd be beautiful. But if not, you know, so be it though. But now she asking questions, asking how to get in classes and all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Because I want to learn. I want to know, you know, what it's like to live, you know, in that type of, you know, or live day to day as Muslim. I love this man and I want to know everything about him. And even if that takes me stepping out of what I was, you know, born and raised in, Pentecostal Christian, and I'm willing to do that, and vice versa for me. You know, he's not going to let me being Christian stop us from growing together or hindering. Put a hindrance in our relationship.
Then you know what the wonderful thing about this, not to cut you off, sorry, but you know what the wonderful thing about this is like a person watches you, a person that loves you watches you. Now if I wasn't the type person that make her interested in being a Muslim at all, she wouldn't never even had a second thought. You know what I'm saying? So a person watches you, you know. So no, I'm glad that I can be, you know, I'm not gonna say perfect, but I can be a good example of a Muslim, you know what I'm saying to you. So I don't want her, so she can't be looking like, oh, these Muslims, I wasn't there, you know. But
and that's genuine respect for the person as an individual there too.
Mhm.
You know, that has a lot to say about the respect that you two have for each other, being that you're able to, you know, respect the religion that you both choose, you know, and not let it affect your, you know, relationship. You know what I'm saying? And you're right, James. You know, it's just a matter of like, you know, letting your light shine. And that's just like I say for me, like I encounter, you know, Muslims often, you know, and I'm not the one, you know, I'm not that Christian woman to say, you know, or be judgmental because that's
Yeah.
the religion that you choose. You know, we have a mutual respect, and we just, you know, keep it like that. They shine their light, I shine my light, and you know, we respect each other. We have the same mutual love for one another, and you know, that's just what it is. And it's great to hear and see that you're able to be in a relationship with one another, even though you may have different religions, you know, and that's great. That's great. Now,
Yeah.
what role does self-love play in maintaining healthy relationships?
Say that one more time. Say what role?
Yeah, what role does self-love play in maintaining healthy relationships?
I definitely believe it plays a major role
Yeah, it
in
does.
maintaining
Oh my
relationship.
God.
You have to love self
Yes.
before you can, you know, love someone else. You know, just a little history about me. Like, you know, like I said, it was times before when I did not love self. I was, you know, a little self-conscious about little things. And so I didn't choose the right choices when it came to having my past relationship. But I know now I had to take a step back and learn who I am, love on me first. And I know, and I prayed and I said, God, you know, bring the right person to me when I'm ready. And I definitely believe that he did.
Yes.
When he put this into my life, because I definitely put a lot of work in loving myself,
Yeah.
so that I can be full. Like people say 50-50 when they come in relationships. No, I wanted to be 100. I wanted to be complete.
That's right. That's
before,
right.
You know, God put a man in my life, and I definitely believe he did. Because I love him first.
Well, she was a tough cookie. I ain't gonna lie. She
Yeah.
was a tough cookie. For me to really like break them walls down. Yeah, she was a tough cookie. Yeah, she was
Yeah.
not. She wasn't going for nothing. She was single for how long? 2 years or something like that?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamika, you and I have a lot in common. We have a lot in common. And I, you know, was there too in relationships where I just didn't love myself. I didn't have that 100% genuine, unconditional love for myself. And when I began to recognize that I was loving him and losing me, you know, I had to take a step back. And I was literally single for maybe about 3 or 4 years. I was single for about 3 or 4 years, and I began to love myself. And I asked God to, you know, send me the man that you want me to be with.
Absolutely.
You know,
and then when you don't love yourself, it's easy for another person to see that. It comes across in ways, and they'll take advantage of it. They'll see that you don't have the respect for yourself the way you should. So they will definitely, you know, find that
all over you.
And they will
all over you.
So
walk all over you.
So now on the flip side, right? First and foremost, I don't understand how she even look how beautiful this woman is. Like I don't even see how she had any type of self-consciousness or whatever the case be. You too, I don't know, understand. You're a beautiful lady too. So I mean, I don't get it though. I was like, when she told me that, I was like, yeah, right. But you know, but as I start talking to her more, I seemed like she did have a couple shallow spots, and I was like, oh, she was really telling the truth though, you know. But me, I'm total opposite, you know, not to sound arrogant or nothing like that, but you know, the family I came in, the way I was raised, I was always, you know, told to put myself first though, you know what I'm saying? So me, I always love myself. I couldn't even imagine not loving myself because, and you know, I'm a counselor for mental health, and you know, so I always tell people you have to love yourself first. If you don't love yourself, there's no way else you can show anybody love, especially not in a relationship. Like
Yeah.
you got to put self-love first. You can't even love your children properly. You can't love your friends right. You can't love your business partners correctly. You know what I'm saying to you? But self-love is so important. I'm glad you really brought that topic up. So anybody out there, love yourself first, and then you can start loving everybody else. And listen, being selfish is not a bad thing.
No,
sometimes you got to be selfish and worry about yourself first.
That's right.
Because
and lack of self-love basically shows lack of confidence, and confidence is key. Confidence
is everything in life. Everything in life.
What I've noticed when you lack confidence, others, they sense that, they know that, and it's distasteful. Lack of confidence is distasteful. People don't respect that. And that's what I was getting when I lacked confidence. I lacked self-love, and like I said, I was by myself for about 3 years, and God sent me Mike, and he began to help me love myself more and more and more and more, and I began to gain confidence and attract others who had confidence in themselves, so it's just kind of like something that is necessary for you to just be healthy, and confident. It's just necessary,
Absolutely.
It's essential because you're not going to attract people who love themselves if you don't love yourself. You're not going to attract people who learn to or just love you if you don't love yourself. Now, have you ever had to outgrow certain relationships for your personal growth?
Absolutely. My marriage. Because actually, to be totally honest with you, I didn't have a bad wife at all. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
She's a very good person. I never disrespect her ever. You know what I'm saying? But just like we just start going on 2 different paths, and like when I start going on this path right here, she wasn't ready for it. And I gave her opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and like, if we together, we got to ride the same wave. You know what I'm saying to you? Like literally got to ride the same wave. Now, if I was leading her into a negative, pathway, it would be a whole total different story. But everything I do was positive. So I'm like, why you not riding with me with this? And it was a major income for the house, so like, so just run it down to you. You already know I was personal training, I was personal training, and at the time I was like really a big time, I ain't gonna really say big time personal trainer, but I was.
I saw your Instagram page. I checked you out.
So I was on. Oh no, you. I mean that page right there, because I really never made pages. Everybody always try to pump me up to make pages. I wasn't on that because I had so much clientele from my sister. She like one of the major people in Baltimore. Like she like one of the biggest Mary Kay people in Maryland, period. You know what I'm saying?
Give your sister a shout out. You don't know who's listening in Maryland. Give her a shout out.
My sister Beverly, she worked for the federal government. She owned a lot of properties, and she one of the biggest Mary Kay. She had every pink Cadillac that came out. She had an electric one now. like she like really big time, and she kept me with clients. She kept me with a whole lot of clients. And then then in Baltimore, I was like very known. So people just kept coming to me over and over. So anyway, let's run it back. So by me having that business, and I also owned a couple corner stores, you know what I'm saying? So she just wasn't like jumping in like the way I wanted her to. So I needed her, not wanted to. I needed her. So, but you know, a lot of separation came. You know, plus other little reasons too that I rather not talk about. But for the most part, that was about it though. You know.
But then that's such a good growth because I was always raised where you unfortunately you can't take everyone with you.
No.
So that could be relationships too.
Listen, everybody's not meant to be there. What I've learned from my experience, you know, people come in our lives for reasons and seasons.
Seasons,
absolutely. Come in our life for reasons and seasons, and you have to know the reason, and you have to know the season,
and you learn from it. You're like,
you learn from it, you know. And there's plenty of people that I have to out for. First of all, you know, I've never had a big circle. I've never had a lot of friends. I know a lot of people, but my circle is real tight. And me, I'm a family-oriented person, which my family is a little bit all over the place, but, you know, we still close and we still family. And when we talk, you know, but outside of that, I don't really have relationships with like a lot of people. But there's been acquaintances.
Y'all, oh my God, y'all like, oh my God. I'm talking to the same person right here, yep.
There's been acquaintances that I have outgrown, you know, that I just kind of let the relationship die because I outgrew them, you know, and I'm fine with that. It was what it was. You know, I learned and appreciated the experience, you know, the friendship or the bond or the connection that we had. And, you know, that's what it was. And I had to keep it moving, and God bless you. You know, I wish the best for you. And, you know, that's that. So, you know, there's times when we do outgrow people and relationships to allow ourselves to continue to grow, you know, because I'm the type of person, like, I can't be stagnated. I'm not letting nobody stop me from what God has planned for my life. Nobody, my mother, my father, my sister,
nobody, 110%,
brother, my kids, nobody is stopping me from, you know, from what God has for me. Nobody.
Yeah, you can't let nobody stop you. You know, once you got a vision and once you got a path, that's yours. It's all yours, you know. And if somebody, you know, start getting into your path, then it's a problem. But just to make this worldwide right here now, I would never ever bash my ex-wife. Wonderful person, like I said, you know. And then she blessed me with 2 wonderful kids. So, you know, so I'm most definitely not bashing her. We just happen to, you know, go different paths. You know what I'm saying? So
understood. Now, how do boundaries strengthen relationships instead of hurting them?
Boundaries is very important. Boundaries very important. Like for instance, like I'm a Muslim, you know. I got boundaries. Like when I'm praying, you know, she don't get in my way. She don't do that. Boo boo. She know not to walk over me and, you know, being loud or disrespectful or nothing like that. You know, and then I let her do her own boundaries too. So, which is not too many because she want to be under me at all times. Like, but she do know, like. She know, like, when I'm watching sports, I'm very passionate about my team. She know which games I really don't care nothing about. She'll bug me, you know what I'm saying? But like when my team on, she even cheer, like a little fake little cheer, like, hey, but you know, but you know, she know not to bother me. You know how us guys is when our team on, you know, we get very passionate about it. So yeah, she most definitely give me them boundaries, you know. So yeah.
And everyone, you know, you just it goes with learning each other, you know. If you don't set boundaries, how are you going to know, you know, what not to do, what to do, or you know, things like that. So it's definitely okay to have boundaries in a relationship. It definitely is.
Definitely essential. And I'm, you know, learning to set boundaries, which, you know, I struggled with for a long time. Just not setting boundaries, letting people do certain things that I feel may be just are disrespectful, and me just letting it slide, not saying nothing because because, you know, I may not want to be in an uncomfortable situation or confrontational situation or whatever. But I'm learning that if you don't set the boundary from the door, if you don't check it at the door, you know, the first time it happens, then it'll keep happening. You know what I'm saying? And like they say, there's a saying that goes, you got to be cruel to be kind, you know, and that's how I you know, set, or that's the approach that I take when it comes to setting boundaries, you know, because it doesn't always feel comfortable when you have to set that boundary, because you may feel like you're offending that person or whatever the case may be. But sometimes like you don't have to come off in a cruel way, but because it feels like you're being cruel, you still have to, you know, be able to, you know, stand on your own 2 feet, assert yourself, and set that boundary, whether, you know, they take it offensively or not. Because if you don't, you know, then it's just not showing that you respect and love yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning, even though it doesn't feel good, that I still set those boundaries. And at the end of the day, I'm the one who ends up benefiting from it. And you benefit, that person benefits from it too, because they're like, you know, okay, I know, you know, she doesn't like that, and I know I shouldn't do that, or, you know, whatever. And it's just like a mutual respect that's created, you know, from day one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well put. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Boundaries is important, and then that's where all roll back down to again. Communication.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Now, what lessons have relationships taught you about yourself?
It goes back to self-love. Like, yeah. And in this relationship here has definitely taught me how to love me so that I can love him better. So it is, definitely.
You know, this relationship, especially this one here, and she do it all the time. And I told her, like, because she's like, we talking about comfort zones. I say, you most definitely got me out of my comfort zone, because I'm more like the type person. She even had me running around here soft as a bunny.
Aww.
Yeah, because I'm the more affectionate. I like to, you know, to for him to know that I'm there, and I want to be around him a lot. And so it's so I love yous when we're on the phone.
Now I'm a type person. I'm always on speaker, and she know it too. So I love you, baby. Around the guys, I'm looking like,
Yeah, but Tamika, I would have to agree with you on the self-love. Relationships have taught me self-love, and not even just relationships with men, or, you know, whatever. Just relationships in general have taught me self-love, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, when you go through things in relationships or whatever situations, good or bad, you know, at the end of the day, you eventually learning, you know, or loving yourself more, you know what I'm saying, just off of that experience. You know what I'm saying? It always comes back to the self-love. So I completely agree with that. Is healing individually necessary before entering a relationship?
oh yeah, you most definitely got to be healed. Got to be healed, because if not, you're going to bring a lot of
that past
baggage
into your present situation, and that's not ever good.
And that's the reason why I was single for those 3 years, because I had a lot of baggage. I had a lot of baggage, and I still have some baggage, but I unloaded most of it, you know. So I don't have as many bags. I'm not that bag lady trying to hurry up for the bus, you know. Like Erykah Badu said. But you know, you definitely should. I agree that, you know, getting rid of your baggage and, you know, past, and, you know, dealing with that before jumping into, you know, a relationship is a wise decision. And I, you know, even tell that to the younger generation, my family members, my younger cousins, and my daughter, don't heal. You have to heal. You have to heal. You can't just be jumping in relationship after relationship after relationship and not giving yourself a chance to heal. You know what I'm saying? It's not healthy for you, and it's not healthy for that individual because they have to deal with everything that you bring into the table, and you trying to adjust to them and what else you bring into the table. It's just not a healthy situation. So I completely agree that there should be a healing process before you move on to the next person.
And a lot of people don't even realize that they are doing it if they're complete. They really don't. They think it's just normal to just go step into another relationship, and you haven't healed from the past or past trauma, even your childhood, like child trauma, anything like that. Like you really don't realize because you've been carrying it for so long. You think it's a normal thing. So yeah,
and honestly too, I know for me, before I took that time to heal, I was in and out of a lot of different relationships and just like, just not giving myself that time to heal, because I didn't want to go through the motions of healing. You know what I'm saying? And being in a relationship or just being with someone, would kind of like give me a temporary comfort, that I didn't have to face myself and heal through that process.
It's scared to be vulnerable, and you don't want to show your true self to this person, but that goes back with the healing. You have to heal and step into that mirror and say, okay, this is what I need to do to fix myself, or this is what I need to heal myself. And then you can, go into a new relationship and, bring all that good baggage and not the bad baggage.
That's right. Now, how important is emotional maturity in long-term relationships?
Very important. Very. You got to be mature about things, like literally, like you can't, beefing about little small things. One thing I don't like at all, and I'm glad she's the same way. I do not like arguing. That would turn me off more than anything in the world, So I can't be sitting around arguing and most of the times when you argue about something, it's not even that serious.
No, it's not
even that serious. Sometimes, especially when two people love each other so much, they argue because they around each other so much and they just trying to do something, kick time, make time pass, and they arguing about. I know a lot of women who do that, and I know a lot of men that do that. So they argue about stuff, and they don't know that's so unhealthy. Somebody will say people gonna get tired of that. Everybody in life is looking. Well, hopefully, everybody in life is looking for peace and humbleness. So when something not peaceful and somebody taking me on my peace, I gotta go. I can't do no arguing.
After a while, it becomes toxic.
Yes.
Arguing all the time about unnecessary nonsense. And I've had to learn that even in my relationship with Mike, which is another thing that, he has taught me and I've learned from watching him, because he's very non-confrontational. He's very peaceful. He's very easygoing on just about every and anything, and not just with me. That's just the type of person that he is with everybody. And I'm not saying that he's perfect or anything like that. But I just know that he's not for the drama. And,
exactly.
There's like a huge age gap between us. So that could play a big part in my immaturity and, just nitpicking and nagging about everything. And, but I'm learning to, pick and choose my battles and my arguments, and, just not make everything confrontational. And an argument. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, people are looking for peace, and nobody has time to be arguing and bickering about every little thing. And so it's very important to have emotional maturity in relationships, not just intimate relationships, but just relationships in general. You know what I'm saying? Be mature with just handling certain situations and understanding that people are people. We're not perfect. We make mistakes, and everything doesn't deserve a fight, or an argument. Sometimes we have to deal with situations with compassion and understanding. Well, most times, not sometimes, but try to undo that all the time. But me, like, I had and still have a long way to go, and growing to mature, and handle my emotions maturely. My father told me a long time ago, get in control of your emotions. Get in control of your emotions. He told me that a long time ago, and I'm 47, and I'm just now getting it. Like, pick and choose your battle.
It's a work in progress for everyone.
No.
Yeah, every day is a learning lesson. So it's going to take time for us to get there, but hopefully we all will. But it's a work in progress. So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No one's perfect.
Right.
So even relationships, we're not perfect. We have our little spats, but it's so funny because the other day I sent them a reel, and I said, this is funny because we have arguments, but it's the funny arguments. Why you watch that TV show without me? So it feels good to be in this space where we're not at each other, and it is not toxic. We're just like have these little funny little spats, like, oh, you watched that TV show without me, and you said you were not going to.
Yeah, like you see on TV, right?
Now I want to tell you something that how I've been all my life, right? And she's starting to really learn it now, though, right? So I can be like super angry, but now if somebody keep on, throwing the fire on my flame already, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna keep on getting higher and higher. You dig what I'm saying? So, but like my flame will go out very fast if you just give me a chance to calm down. And I don't hold grudges, like especially not with people I love. So I don't hold grudges. So we could be not even an argument. She could see I'm steaming mad about something, and then like maybe like 20 minutes later, she's like, "You mad? You still mad?" I'm like, "No." And she think I be joking. I don't be mad no more. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to talk about it no more. It's over with. That's the way I've always been like that all my life. Because especially when I was young, I used to fight all the time. Of course, I wouldn't have put my hands on a woman ever, no matter what. Because I got 3 sisters, but that's why I didn't really want to put that conversation with this conversation. But anyway, I used to fight all the time when I came up because
me too.
People didn't know. People didn't know that once I get mad, which take a very long time. But once I get mad, and you keep on pinching me and keep on pinching me,
you're gonna explode.
I'm gonna get madder and madder. So now I box you in. Now you don't have no choice but to fight me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway though, but right after that, I'd be super cool. I'd be having a whole conversation with you. She's like, yo, you just beat me up. How you just sitting there talking to me like that ain't happened? You know what I'm saying?
And that's something I had to learn about him too, because he can go from 1 to and I'm a corrector. I like to fix everything. I'm a nurturer. So he had to tell me a few times, like, okay, babe, just because I'm quiet or I'm going through this right now, just let me go to this. Don't try to fix it. And I like to try to fix it.
Yeah,
you want to fix everything.
I want to fix everything. I want to make sure you okay.
But I'm so glad she don't do that no more now, because
now, like to take a step back and let him have that.
It used to be so funny because like that's the way I zone out. I'll zone all the way out. But I'm thinking, and like if she look at me, it looks like I'm worrying, but I'm not worrying. I'm planning for tomorrow. I'm putting this together. I'm putting all the pieces together, but I gotta visualize it. So when I'm zoning out, that's what I'm doing. I'm visualizing my next moves. You know what I'm saying? Like so she didn't know that what I was doing. She thought I was worrying. Like, baby, what's wrong? What's wrong? Yeah. Like, please, not right now. Just let me go through this for a second. Because if I can't see it, I can't do it. That's the way I'm always is. If I can't see it, I'm not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So I be zoning out, and she didn't know why I be zoning out. But I'm zoning out for a good thing. But it looked like in her mindset, she thinking I'm over there worrying or stressing about something. Baby, you okay? You okay? Yeah. Baby, not right now. Let me go ahead and go through my motions real quick, you know?
Yeah, and I completely understand where both of you are coming from with that, you know, because I have a lot of men in my family. My grandmother had 5 boys. My mother has like 4 brothers. I have 3 brothers. And then my son, you know, is really who honestly I learned from when it comes to, you know, giving men, especially, you know, their space and not trying to over extend love. You know, that's where I've learned, you know, just how to really just nurture a man without just being overbearing. You know what I'm saying? I learned that from my son because he's like that too, you know, where he could, you know, he's very easygoing. You know, he's very calm, you know, he's very understanding. And there are times where he may get frustrated or angry, you know, and I used to always be like overbearing and, you know, not giving him a chance to calm down or, you know, and still wanting to fix it. And, you know, it just made the situation worse, you know, so the older he's getting, you know, the more I'm able to, you know, step back and just let him be a man and go through the process. And, you know, he does come back around and it may, you know, take a day or, you know, whatever, you know, but, you know, he does come around and he's not, you know, resentful about the situation. You know, he's still, you know, loving and caring and probably just forgot and moved on from, you know, what happened, you know. So I guess us as women, you know, we tend to be so nurturing and so caring, and you know, we can be overbearing sometimes because we do want to fix it, you know, and a lot of times it just has to fix itself, you know.
Yeah, that's something I have definitely learned.
Now, this is the final question. What does growth truly mean to you when it comes to relationships?
Growth means to me is not staying stagnated. You can't stay stagnated. Like for instance, like the level we are right now, we only like a small step away from being married. I mean, it's like you know, we live together. We together all the time. Like we can't stay right here, you know. So we have to grow. We got to grow because sooner or later we say like, she like, what's wrong with me? why I don't got a ring on my finger yet? So growth is very important. You know what I mean? And like, you know, like for me, business is everything. Like I'm doing like about 3 different things all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you
like,
always multitask.
I'm not going to stay there. Like just like you gave me a perfect opportunity to say, okay, I'm back into personal training now. You know what I'm saying? I love personal training. That's my life. You know what I'm saying? That what makes me happy. She's been telling me that for the longest time. She said, you got to go back into what make you happy. You know what I'm saying? Yes. But for sure, helping people make me happy too. You know, that's why I mentor. That's why I deal with mental health. You know what I'm saying? So when I tie all that in, but personal training is like my passion. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like so funny when you brought it back up to me. I was like, oh, I'm gonna walk back with this. You know what I'm saying?
You stepped up right away, James. You was like, wait. I'm a personal trainer.
Absolutely, yes.
Like, what? Okay. Let's do this.
Rock with it. So you know, it's new to Jersey for me. You know, anybody in Baltimore already know that would have been an easy thing to right back. So now I'm loving how, you know, you motivate me to get my brand back out there. You motivate me to, you know, basically introducing me to Jersey. Like it's time to rock right here. It's not just Baltimore, you know, it's everywhere, you know. So I really appreciate that from you. So.
Absolutely.
I definitely appreciate it too.
Yes.
Back into it.
Yes, and I definitely appreciate it too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a personal trainer and I needed to, you know, partner with someone who is, you know, and me, you know, as far as working out or whatever, I enjoy working out by myself, which not to say that I wouldn't mind bringing a client with me every once in a while or whatever, but that's my time to, you know, connect with my spiritual alignment and, you know, just go in my zone and do my thing. And, you know, I really don't be, you know, I don't want to say beat, but I don't be beat to, you know, have conversations and be sidetracked and get out of my mental space. So, you know, I'm so happy that we are partners, and I'm able to send clients your way to, you know, train them and, you know, mentor them and give them nutrition options and, you know, stuff like that, you know. So I'm so happy as well. Thank you guys so much, you know, for being on board with this. And just let everybody know, Jay Magnificent, where they can find you, your IG pages, and where you could be found.
Well, yeah, y'all. Personal training is my life. You know, I love it. I love it. And one thing about me for sure, I'm all about results. I just came from the gym a little bit right before I was talking to her from down the office. I had a great workout. Came home, jumped in the shower real quick, and jumped on with my partner. You know, I had to immediately. So as you can see me, I kept on sipping on this smoothie. So good. Oh my God. All straight fruits too. So no added sugar, no nothing, just straight fruits and berries. Berries is like one of the greatest things you can have. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. Berries is great, y'all. So just remember that berries is the key. So, but yeah, though, what is my IG? Jay Magnificent. Jay Magnificent. What? Hold on, let me excuse me, y'all. Page right now. Yeah, it is.
So, I'm looking forward to you being at Pretty Girls Wear Pink.
Yes, I am so excited. Oh, I'm so excited to be there.
Oh yeah, guys, y'all got to come there.
Yeah,
we taking blood pressures. We doing everything.
You. I love what you're doing. I love your, especially to see a beautiful Black sister going out here and you know, trying to get everyone fit and, you know, changing their lifestyle. So kudos to you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Everybody can find me on J lowercase J AY dot magnificent _ fitness _ and once you go to my page, just inbox me and I'll get right back with you immediately. So you know, it's sky's the limit from here, y'all. You know, I got good prices, you know, and like I said, you got guarantee you're gonna get what you're looking for. No, you know, results is a must for me, you know, is a must. I don't play around. This is like very, very serious to me, especially when somebody's spending their hard-earned money. You know, we in a recession. Nobody ain't playing with no money right now. They want what they want right now. And this is very time to get healthy, because y'all see all these diseases trying to creep in right now, you know, and health is wealth. Let's go, y'all. So
that's right. Yeah. Let's go. And you could also find Jay Magnificent on shebaslifestyle.com. Just click under the tabs. Jay Magnificent is listed there under mentoring or mental and spiritual health. He's also found under nutrition and fitness training. Just click the link and his IG page will pop up. There'll be another page that'll pop up for you to fill out a consulting form. And once that's filled out, I could connect you with Jay Magnificent. So thank you guys so much again.
Absolutely.
For participating in K.I.R.P&P with Sheba's podcast. Keep it real positive and professional. We'll look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. I'll be there at 11:30 if you want to come early to set up. I'm gonna have a pink photo booth, so we're gonna snap it up with some pictures.
Okay.
I'll have a good time, listen to some music. And
you see she rocking your pink right now. See
yes,
that?
I see that. Yes, Pretty Girls Wear Pink and do the work.
She pay attention. She pay attention.
Yes. All right, guys. So I'll see you guys on Sunday.
Absolutely. Thanks again. Much. All right. Okay.
Have a blessed and wonderful night.
Okay. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.